environment, nature, and especially the oceans are very important for us. Anna, you know everything about the oceans.
Something.
What is the situation with the Baltic Sea at the moment?
Well, the Baltic Sea is a very special sea overall in the world because it's very shallow, it's brackish water, so it's less saline than most of the sea areas in the world. Due to the lack of water in particular, it's very prone to eutrophication, which is excess of nutrients coming from farming, coming from forestry, coming from municipal facilities and factories. But that's more or less done with. And now we have to deal with the agricultural and forestry sectors more. Nowadays, more and more, we have been aware of the plastic pollution also in the Baltic Sea. And that is something that we as WWF have been trying to tackle a bit as well. And then there's shipping, of course. In the Baltic Sea, it's roughly 2,000 ships at any time going at the Baltic Sea. And that's a huge number regarding that the sea area is so tiny.
ROKUA Skincare donates 1% of our turnover to WWF to protect the Baltic Sea. What kind of things can be done with that donation?
Well, at the moment we are in practice doing artificial wetlands, which are something that you create to the outlets of river. The idea of those wetlands is that they are sucking the nutrients out of the water. Lots of vegetation, also fish and animals that are eating the vegetation, such as birds. And that is on one part taking care of the nutrients and one part increasing the biodiversity of the nature in that area. Because lots of wetlands have been, in the past times, have been drained by humans. And now we are trying to take back that nature, sort of. And then we are collecting just beach trash from the Baltic Sea coastline. And within that, we are doing also some sampling of the plastic, how much there is. And we are bringing data to the research facilities in Finland. And that is something that is very much needed because there is a lack of data with regards of plastic waste in the Baltic Sea, how much there is, how much microplastics there are. And that is something that's really been raising concern throughout the world, as we probably all know. We are not a third world area, but still there is quite a lot of just throwing out the recreational litter, the packages, the bottles into the environment, and we are trying to also increase the knowledge of people of not doing that, and that's something very important in our job. And then we are trying to work with certain shipping companies to reduce their food waste, to increase use of local fish in their buffets, and also trying to negotiate of their not throwing their grey waters into the sea, which is still permitted in the Baltic Sea as well. Also, the food waste can be thrown into the water within that fraction of waters, and that's the real deal. That's a huge amount of excess food and food remnants from the buffet tables of the big recreational ships. And then we still have one main task that we are doing with regards to Baltic Sea riverine spawning fish. We are trying to take out dams from the rivers. Not only dams, but also smaller obstacles that are done by men.
Is there something that every person can make for the Baltic Sea?
Sure. For instance, you don't necessarily need to wash your dishes in the Baltic Sea water if you are doing recreational shipping or something like that. Do not throw your trashes into the nature. That's one very simple task to do. If you were able to carry the food packages full into the area, you should be able to carry them back empty. Of course, you can reduce your plastic use and recycle your plastic if you are forced to use it. That's something that everyone should remember, that we are not the kings of nature. We are part of nature.
That's true.